Hi, I'm Lois Ritarossi with High Rock Strategies, and I'm here at Printing United with Danny Green from Digital Print Solutions. Danny, tell us a little bit about your company, please.
So Digital Print Solutions is a reseller, dealer for multiple platforms of products, everything from Ricoh, Canon, Konica Minolta, and obviously Screen, and we are very excited to be a partner with Screen.
What do you think the screen technology is going to mean for some of your customers?
So looking at the market space today, we have a lot of our customers who are trying to figure out what their solutions are for inkjet moving forward. They're concerned about labor shortages as well. Trained labor in an offset printing market is always a struggle. I think everybody knows that. The other thing they're looking at is how do we make our offset more efficient? And one of the ways to do that is they're looking at pulling off a lot of their short run from their offset and putting it onto a continuous feed digital press like a Screen. And that way it frees up their offset presses for more profitable business on their offset. We've had customers that were able to add somewhere in the neighborhood of $70,000 a month back to their bottom line and revenue just by transferring the work that didn't fit well on offset over to a continuous feed model.
And how has their workflow changed as they look at continuous feed versus maybe a cut sheet offset environment?
So on the workflow side of the house, there's a lot of options they can look at. Most workflows are fairly automated already, so there's not major changes in that area. And I know that the products that we have today, they are really suited for whatever traditional workflow that they're using today. So there's not really much challenge there.
What changes are you seeing in the commercial print market that is, forcing customers to really make new and different investments?
Well, obviously, quick turnaround times, right? I mean, we've talked about this for years. It's still true today. Customers want stuff immediately. They want stuff the next day or even the same day in times, right? So being able to react really fast to customers' needs, it kind of sets yourself apart. So customers are having, either they're doing it or they're being forced to do it today. The other thing we talked about just a second ago is labor shortages. Nobody wants to be an offset printer. I get constant, or an offset press operator, right? I get calls constantly, hey, do you know anybody that would run an offset press today? The technology is still viable, but it's just not exciting. So I think a lot of the younger generations getting involved in print, the offerings that Screen have really more exciting for them, right? Some of the products they're able to produce is exciting. The other thing to think about would be variable content. We've been talking about personalization and variable data for years. I'm still amazed at how many customers really don't use the power of variable the way they should.
So Danny, tell me a little bit about how you help educate your customers about the mix of capabilities that are now available, including continuous feed and inkjet, and what do your customers need to learn and understand?
So one of the things we like to do is we like to go into our customers, look at their existing customer base, and we'll work with them going to their existing customer base, how they can modify their current applications to actually add a variable content or some sort of personalization to that to add value. We look at industry trends, we look at articles that are written about the technology, and we kind of talk through our customer base. We also try to educate the salespeople, right? To get them out of their comfort zone. So sometimes they don't feel comfortable expanding their applications, right? So we try to do that from a business development standpoint and help them kind of grow their business.
So what typically is how would you describe a typical customer that's looking at inkjet technology and continuous feed today?
That's now.
Are there any typicals?
I wouldn't say typical, right? I mean, I think that we've got folks that have current digital opportunities or they have current digital equipment, but maybe it's outdated or it's older digital equipment, right? And they're looking at expanding or growing that business into a high-speed offering with more productivity. They are also looking, we also have commercial printers who really still have not adopted digital fully, and they realize that they're going to have to do something in the very near future to stay relevant. With inkjet technologies today, the quality is tremendous. And the other thing about inkjet technology, and specifically Screen, is the repeatability. So, from day one to day two to next month to next year, they can continually, consistently produce the same colors and everything matches from start to finish.
And that's so important in today's marketing across all types of channels, including, digital physical channels as well as digital print channels.
Well, and it's funny too, because it's, in the offset printing world, there's a chance of variance from one printer to the next printer across the country. When you start looking at inkjet and digital technologies, printer A, printer B, or printer C could have the same technology and they can match at different shops. So that enables brands to be able to really print at a specific location that maybe meets their needs for shipping purposes.
In the category of partnership, how do you guys make sure that your companies are good partners to your customers? What are some of the things that you focus on?
So one of the biggest things that we focus on is service. When you have printing equipment in today's fast-paced society that we live in, customers want something next day or even same day, like we said. We want to make sure that their equipment's up and running. So we have a first-tier service. We partner with the manufacturers, and they service as well. But with Digital Print Solutions, we have someone on site same day to make sure the presses are up and running. Because if the presses, I tell printers all the time, if the press is printing, you're printing money, right? And you need the presses up and you need them operational and running.
And you have any words of wisdom to share as people look at new technologies and AI technologies? What's going to have an impact on your customers continuing to be successful in the commercial print industry?
I think that they need to get out of their comfort zones. I encourage my customer base to look at all technologies, to go out, to evaluate, to talk to people. Not everything's a perfect fit for everybody, but just to sit at your shop and do the same thing day in and day out is a terrible mistake. It really understand what's out there and take chances, right? Really be more aggressive in your growth strategies.
Thank you for sharing your ideas. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
You too. Thank you very much.